All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, new people I haven't met. My name is Paul Taubman. My company is called Digital Maestro. We're a website agency that's located in Somerville, New Jersey, and we help people with basically anything that has to do with their online visibility. So their websites, security, lead acquisition, all kinds of good stuff like that, social media. But today, what I wanted to talk about is something called responsive websites, mobile websites. This is probably something that you're all familiar with at this point. However, one of the things that I talk to when I'm dealing with clients is I tell them that we don't make just another pretty website, right? So the websites we build are designed to be pretty and look very nice aesthetically. However, it's also about having good functionality, make it a advertising and marketing tool for you, and works across the board depending on what platform you're using. So a responsive website means that your website will actually respond to the type of device that you're looking at it. So for example, if you're looking at a website on a big desktop, you'll see one thing. If you're looking at it on a tablet, it'll kind of smush things together and rearrange things a little bit. So it's a nice user experience, as well as if you look at it on a smartphone, which is nice and thin and kind of you'll just keep scrolling. If you remember back, one of the first iPhones, their big feature was, excuse me, you could literally take your phone and pinch and stretch and move back and forth and scroll. And that was like the best thing ever at that point, right? However, over the years, it's become that if your website does that on a mobile device, Google actually will penalize you and not give you as good search results. So you certainly don't want to do that. And I would say the majority of sites out there, as long as they've been updated, do not have that to worry about. Okay, but there are a few things that I want to just point out. If you have these on your website, you just want to check them out on a mobile device, because a lot of times people don't even think about this once their website's done. So I'm going to share my screen if I can, Dennis. Nope. Okay, here we go. Okay, can you all see the screen? Okay, so this is just a sample site that I've developed to show you this, right? So on this particular page, it's just a test site. We have this nice big, what we call a hero image, right? Camping in the mountains. And as we scroll down, completely unrelated, I start talking about great literature, right? So I've got Dorian Gray on the image on the left, text on the right. As we scroll down, text on the left, image on the right. And you can see how these go together. And this is actually a zigzag design, which is designed to keep users engaged as they're kind of going through. So their eyes kind of make that zigzag as opposed to just straight text and straight images. So I've got a couple rows like that. And then down here, I've got this, just a random video running in the background with some copy here. Okay. So this looks, okay. This looks nice. It's not too bad. And I say that on a desktop. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, right now I'm using Chrome. If I go into the menu, I'm not sure if the menu shows up, but under the View Developer menu, I can say Developer Tools. And that just popped up a window on my other screen here. Okay. And if you ever wanted, you could do this too on your Chrome. It's not just for developers. Okay. And there's this little button here, Toggle Device Toolbar. So I'm going to click on that. And you can see the screen changed over here, okay, to show us different devices that we can look at this. So this is actually what my big screen here looks like, I believe. But if I wanted to say, what does it look like on a Mac that's an 11-inch? Okay, so it's a small notebook. I scroll down, I go, okay, well, this is nice. This is what people want, right? They want it responsive. Notice it looks a little bit different, but it's still pretty much the same layout because it's my screen is nice. Okay? However, if we take this now and we scroll this down to, let's say I want to look at it on an iPhone, you scroll to the top. Now you can see, well, my header image, I can't really tell that this is a tent in the mountains. Right? If I didn't see that first image, I might be confused. But you'll notice this is exactly what I was talking about with the responsiveness. Instead of having rows going across, which would be really difficult to see, I have my picture and then my copy. So it automatically adjusts things. Well, the way to adjust it here, I lose kind of the Dracula image up top, but here it is down at the bottom, so at least it puts it there. But then the next one's Pride and Prejudice. So I have two images back and forth, and you know, it can be kind of confusing a little bit. And then here's the video section, which really, it looks like, I can't tell, it looks like over here there was the person. So because of the positioning, a video really is in a background, certainly is not really good to do on a smartphone, on small devices. Okay. So if I go back, actually I'm going to bring up my screen here, toggle this off, and it comes back to the regular website. Okay. So typically a responsive device will just go from left to right and put the content. So that's why we saw on the iPhone version, we saw the picture and then we saw text. Then it went text, then picture, picture, then text. Okay. So it's typically not the best thing. And many times your hero image at tops, it just takes what's ever in the center. So we literally, let's see if I can do this. We literally just got a sample of the middle piece of this image. Okay, same thing with the video. So what I want to do now is go to a different page. Okay. Spoiler alert, with the name corrected, you'll be able to see what this is. So this page here is really the same picture or the same type of page as we look at it on a big screen. Right? So we can see we have our same nice hero image. We have our back and forth zigzag copy, as well as we have our video that's playing in the background. Okay. All right, so again, I'm gonna bring up my other screen for a moment here. I'm gonna click on the toggle the tool device, which gives us the different versions. Right? And you can do this for anything. You can go to a tablet. You can change the size to a specific device. But again, I'll just stick on iPhone for now. And you'll see that this particular page has been optimized and really made to be responsive, where on the big screen we saw the whole thing, but now scrolling on your iPhone, you can really see, yes, this is a tent in the mountains. And now each of the zigzag has kind of been, in a sense, disabled. So we have our image and we have our copy. Image and copy. Image and copy. Image and, okay. Actually, image and no copy. I would have to fix that. And you'll see that there's no distracting video on an iPhone in the background. Plus, the video usually takes up a little bit more resources, something that people necessarily don't want to use on a mobile device if they're using cell data or what have you. So just a few things that you want to keep in mind when you're looking at your website and you're working with your developer to make it mobile. To recap, are going to be if you have any large images, doesn't have to be just the first one, but a large image on your screen. The order that content appears, it should be relevant and intuitive. And then finally, be careful of having autoplay videos that are in the background for mobile devices. So that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to let you know about. If you have any of these, talk to the person who developed your site and see if you can kind of get them corrected. Or in some cases, if you have a big image and you get lucky and it is positioned in the right way, great. You don't have to do anything. Questions? As a hush falls across the room.
So Paul, as that goes through, I know a lot of those templates will come responsive, but even though they're responsive, you need to go in and customize them and work with that responsiveness of the site, right?
Yeah, so a theme or a template for a website, if you use a relatively new one that's modern, it will be responsive. Right? However, the first example was sort of out of the box responsiveness, where it just goes left to right, left to right, left to right. And that's why the order of things kind of shifted around. In the sense of the image and the copy, it's it's easier to understand. But imagine if it was copy and button, and you switch copy and button. Then as you scroll down, you might actually see two buttons that say buy now, and you have no idea what the order of that is, right? So that would be an even worse situation.
No, that's what I mean. So you, on a standard, how many devices do you usually optimize for with your clients? Because obviously
Well,
some are conflicting with each other, unfortunately.
yeah. So as you saw, there are many different devices, many different sizes, and for makes my life miserable because they keep adding new phones and new sizes, right? So it's really a matter of testing. But primarily, you can break them down into three sizes: large, medium, and small. Right. So large is your desktop, medium is a mobile tablet, like an iPad or a Surface, and the small will be the smartphones.
Now, do you usually take the Google Analytics to determine where their traffic's coming from ahead of time, or do you automatically do mobile first?
So this is a great question. Most of the time, as a general rule, most of the traffic is coming from devices that really Google can't even tell or it doesn't track. So I think it's about 40%, if maybe a little bit more. Actually, let me take a look because I had a slide for that. I have a slide that doesn't have that number, but it looks like it's about 40% is coming from. Here, let me share this again just real quickly. Okay. So these are the screen resolution sizes. So other sizes is who knows, right? It's not one of the major standard ones. So it's not necessarily who knows. It just could be so many different devices that are of kind of random sizes. But this one here, you can see 360 by 640 is kind of like a tablet size. It's not until the real large ones, 1366, is about 11%, 12%. A nice large 20-inch display is 1920. Then we have smaller. So you can see there's still a lot out there individually that are being tracked, but it's really about the mobile devices collectively that are the other sizes as well. So to answer your question, typically you keep it in mind as you're designing it, and we ask the clients, where do your audience come from? Do you know? If it's a younger crowd, definitely on mobile. If it's more of a business to business, they probably are viewing it on desktops. So we design accordingly, and then we also look at analytics, and we just make sure that it's going to look good on mobile devices anyway.
So Paul, does it make a difference if it's an Android or an iPhone?
No, really, it's just about okay, so yes, a little bit. So we didn't get into nuances. This is just size. Then there's certain little tweaks that happen with browsers. So when we talk about different browsers, Android versus iPhone comes into play, as well as Safari versus Chrome versus Firefox. Those all have little tweaks in it. So it makes it for an interesting challenge.
Excellent.